What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your boy Aranda here, and I'm back with another video. So in this video, I'll be going over the GFS and European models and what to expect for the rest of June going into July. Now, before we get started with this, there is a 20% chance of tropical development between South Carolina and North Carolina in the coming days. Now, it is possible that can increase or that can decrease, but right now it's a 20% chance. Now, with this heat wave that's going on across the East Coast, many states is going to have high temperature, especially going into next week in the triple digits, and the feel like temperatures is going to be above 115 for many areas. Especially through the Carolinas, Tennessee, Georgia, and parts of Florida. So it is possible that they could raise the chance of any development depending on how the atmosphere does off the coast of the Carolinas. So they could definitely increase that, and it will have a higher chance of forming into either a depression or a low-end tropical storm if it do not stall out. But right now it just has a 20% chance. Probably ain't because of how hot it's been. It's warming up the waters. Now the Atlantic and the Gulf is supposed to have below average hurricane season compared to the Pacific, where it's supposed to have a above average hurricane season. But I haven't seen too many storms get going in the Pacific as of yet. But most storms normally for the Gulf and Atlantic do form in the fall, especially around August, September, October timeframe is when hurricane season really picks up. But it is possible we can see one again in the Gulf, like Tropical Storm Arthur did, that went through Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. I think southern Mississippi reached the highest totals of 12 to 18 inches of rainfall. So we can see another storm like that potentially get going in the Gulf, or it could become a hurricane, because most storms that do form in the Gulf tend to have nowhere to go. So they have to make a landfall either on Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, or the Panhandle of Florida. So it's possible. And then with the Southeast, last year I did not recall one hurricane impacting the East Coast at all, especially Florida. So we might hold on to that streak, or we might not. But still supposed to have below average hurricane season. So let's go ahead and get started with the GFS model and see if it's have an idea on if anything actually will form. But again, the National Hurricane Center has put out a 20% chance of seeing tropical development off the southeast. So we can go into about today's date is, I think, the 28th. So we can go in about 2 p.m. today. We do have some showers and thunderstorms up into the mid-Atlantic and the western Carolinas and eastern Tennessee. Now, there was some deadly storms that went through Kentucky. Then you also saw those storms making their way southeast, impacting the Carolinas. So many of us that lived in the Carolinas saw it was some severe storms yesterday. Most of those came from the Kentucky area as it dipped southeast. Now, there's supposed to be some more showers and thunderstorms go across the state. Some of those could be severe, but not as intense, according to the National Weather Service as of yesterday. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a tornado embedded or a tornado warning issued for Kentucky. We did have some severe weather back towards the central part of the United States, mainly over Kansas, Oklahoma, Arkansas. So it's possible we can see more of that again in the coming days. And then we still have winter storm warnings ongoing for southwestern Montana, going into Idaho, because they are, as you guys see, around 2 p.m. still gonna be dealing with a winter storm. I think this is like day 3 now of the winter storm. Now, it looked like the GFS model is like an idea of seeing a rain snow mix for southwestern Montana and Idaho. So you guys might be getting a slushy mess out there. But the West Coast is pretty quiet, just extremely hot and dry. It is high fire danger for Nevada, Colorado, New Mexico, Arizona, and Eastern California. For southeastern California, we know the governor of Utah issued a state of emergency and, well, declared a state of emergency and has banned fireworks for Utah aimed at high fire danger. So I would not be surprised if Nevada, Arizona, or New Mexico do about the same thing. I don't really see California doing that, but it is a possibility that could happen too. 8 p.m. tonight, we still have some lingering showers along the mid-Atlantic, anywhere from the Carolinas, eastern Tennessee, all the way up into Pennsylvania and New Jersey. North central part of the state just has some scattered showers, seeing some back-end snow still ongoing for parts of southwestern Montana and northeastern Idaho. Around 2 a.m. tonight, we can still see some lingering showers off the coast of the Carolinas, scattered showers up into the northeast, and some scattered showers from north central Texas down to the western part of Texas. Then we have a low pressure get going into the northwestern part of the United States. We still seeing some of that rain and snow ongoing for western Montana and northeastern Idaho. So they might be dealing with this rain snow mix for a little bit longer now. And then coming into 8 a.m. tomorrow, it seemed like that gets a little stronger once again. It seemed like it weakens around 2 a.m. tonight. Well, around 8 p.m. tonight, it seemed like it weakens. Still seeing some scattered showers, snow showers and rain showers in those areas. But around 2 p.m. tomorrow, if the GFS don't change, still could be dealing with a slushy mess up towards those areas. So yeah, that's what's going on there. So going into about 8 p.m. For the 29th, we can see some severe storms along the U.S. and Canadian border. Definitely has a chance to have some strong gusty winds. Some areas possibly can reach up to close to tropical storm status winds. 40 plus miles per hour is possible in some of those areas going into Canada as well. We do have some showers and thunderstorms going across the central part of Florida and all the way up to the northern part of Florida around 8 p.m. tomorrow, if this does play out by the GFS. 2 a.m. for the 30th, we do get a low pressure right there off the coast of South Carolina and North Carolina, probably about I would say probably at least 100 miles from its coastline, and we see some showers around it. That might not be the system they're talking about if it pulls eastward, because last time I looked, if it does form into anything, it's likely to move westward, which would come closer to the coastline of South Carolina, North Carolina, and potentially southeastern Virginia, really Virginia Beach area. Around 2 a.m. For the 30th, those storms can get more widespread going into Canada, and some strong gusty winds could be embedded into those as well. We do have a high pressure just south of New York City. West Coast is still pretty quiet. Some showers in the northwestern part of Texas. 8 a.m. them storms still ongoing, mainly a rainstorm at this point. Excuse me, my allergies is bothering me. But by 8 a.m. on the 30th, could see a rainstorm into Canada. Could see some scattered showers going across the southeast for South Carolina, going down into Georgia, southwestern or southeastern Alabama, western Florida, but kind of near the Panhandle. Washington State, pretty quiet. Just have some scattered showers for the eastern part of the state. California is still pretty quiet. So the entire West Coast is pretty is quiet and hot. So yeah, fire danger is going to be sticking around a little longer. I would not be surprised if they are in a drought as well. Excuse me. Going into about 2 p.m. for the 30th. You can see some scattered showers all the way up into Canada, but for the most part, the United States is pretty quiet for any storms until 8 p.m. We could see some strong thunderstorms get going in the Panhandle of Florida, southeastern Mississippi, and southwestern Alabama. It's possible to see some thunderstorms. Some of those could be severe, but don't look like it's going to be too much of a problem there. And then also in the southwestern part of Montana, you can see some rain, light rain, but nothing crazy. Going into a 2 a.m. on July 1st, we do get a high pressure that sets up between the Tennessee and North Carolina state line. We have some stronger storms, mainly in the southern part of Mississippi and southeastern Louisiana. Scattered showers going through Alabama, and scattered showers going through Florida. About 8 a.m. on the 1st, it starts to quiet down across the southeast and deep south. The north central part of the United States still seeing some showers, possibly a thunderstorm embedded in this, but it's mainly just going to be a rain event. West Coast still hot and quiet. 2 p.m. about the same thing. Everything's still quiet. Just seeing some moisture going over Florida. Then by 8 p.m. on the 1st, we could see some strong storms, but potentially could have some strong gusty winds, and really got to watch out because of the mountains for Tennessee and North Carolina, and yeah, northwestern part of South Carolina. You should watch out as well. But these are definitely some strong storms in the western part of North Carolina and eastern part of Tennessee. So again, really got to watch those, because I-40 for going through Tennessee and North Carolina is still being rebuilt, and they do not really need to see excessive rainfall or any strong storms at all from Hurricane Helene. Which most of us know what happened with Hurricane Helene when it made landfall in Florida. But once it got all the way up to the Carolinas and Tennessee, it made a devastating had a devastating effect for those areas and mainly because of the mountains. The mountains aren't really used to getting excessive amount of rain and heavy wind like that. Instead of Helene making its way and going like along the coast or the central part of the Carolinas, it actually decided to go westward into the mountains of Tennessee and North Carolina, and it caused a devastating effect. Many people are still recovering. It's still have home losses. I-40 still being rebuilt. I think it's over $1 billion project now to get I-40 rebuilt. It literally collapsed that road. And I-40 is a big deal because it runs from Wilmington, North Carolina, all the way to Bakersfield, California. So it's basically east to west, west to east interstate. It's the major one. Going into about 8 p.m. No, 2 a.m. Sorry, my allergies are just bothering me right now. 2 a.m. on July 1st, we can still see some scattered showers being more widespread into the Triangle region of North Carolina, northwestern part of South Carolina. Showers and thunderstorms through Tennessee. High pressure building over West Virginia. Scattered showers anywhere from the Canadian border all the way down through the central part of the United States down into Mexico. 8 a.m. around July 2nd. Some showers and thunderstorms all the way up into the northeast. High pressure off the coast, a few hundred miles off the coast, kind of near Bermuda though. Of the southeast, mainly near Virginia. Scattered showers still ongoing for the deep south. 2 p.m. still pretty quiet, and then this is where things can amp up a little bit. Around July 2nd at 8 p.m. we can see some thunderstorms get going over South Dakota, North Dakota, central part of the United States. Can see some storms. Western Carolinas and eastern Tennessee can see some showers and thunderstorms. Deep south Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama can see some scattered thunderstorms go across the state. And then it starts quieting down around 8 a.m. on July 3rd for the southeast. Carolina's pretty dry, hot, sunny, potentially humid. High pressure moved a little further south for the Atlantic. Now it's sitting a few hundred miles off the coast of North Carolina for the high pressure. We do it look like it's keeping most of that moisture just south of it, kind of near the coastline, or a few hundred miles off the coastline of Florida. Some showers going across southern Mississippi, southern Louisiana, southern Alabama, northeastern Texas, north central part of the United States still dealing with some showers. High fire danger is going to remain going through 8 a.m. on July 3rd because the west coast is still pretty quiet. No sign of moisture in those areas. 2 p.m. for July 3rd. Southeast still pretty quiet. The high pressure moves south, move further south now, and it's just near the state line of South Carolina and North Carolina. It looks like it's keeping most of that moisture pushed down into Florida. So scattered showers still going to be remaining for Miami. Just north of Fort Lauderdale, you guys going to still have some scattered showers. Jacksonville, Florida is going to still have some showers, potentially a thunderstorm. It could be embedded in some of those areas. Panhandle of Florida, still can see some showers and thunderstorms. Tampa can see some showers and thunderstorms. Going through Orlando, you can see some showers and maybe a thunderstorm could be embedded in those as well. But if the sun do break after 2 p.m., it's definitely going to be extremely humid. As again, this is around the time frame the southeast is going to be getting hit with that heat wave, which is going to have high temperatures. It's going to be in the triple digits, like 100 to 105. I feel like temperatures is going to exceed 115 for many areas. So basically, how the West Coast deals with heat waves, but theirs mainly dry. They're not humid like that. So it is really possible. But just what the East Coast is really humid compared to the West Coast, they're mainly hot and dry. Going to about 8 p.m. on July 3rd, we do see a possible tropical storm in the Pacific, just a few hundred miles off the coast of Mexico. Where that go, it might move westward and continue out. Now we do have to watch out and make sure it do not go near Hawaii. It's probably nothing they really can't handle. They're used to tropical storms and like that for the Hawaii area, but still got to watch out. Northeast, still seeing some showers and thunderstorms going into about 8 p.m. on July 3rd. Showers going across the central part of the United States for Tennessee, going down to Louisiana. Southeastern Alabama could see some thunderstorms. It's possible in the panhandle of Florida. And southwestern part of Mississippi and southeastern Louisiana could see some showers, and maybe a thunderstorm could be embedded into that. I would not be surprised if the GFS is not picking up on that. 2 a.m. on July 4th. The southeast is pretty quiet for most of the Carolinas. You only start getting that moisture once you get down towards the southern part of Georgia and the Florida state line. We can see some scattered showers going across Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, Florida. Those areas is definitely possible. The Panhandle of Florida could see some scattered showers, but it's mainly going to be focused on the central and for South Florida. Maybe the Florida Keys can also see some showers, and maybe a thunderstorm can be embedded into that. The high pressure moved further south, and now it's sitting a little bit closer compared to where it was for the Carolinas to Florida. So it's constantly ticking south. That low pressure, that potential tropical storm out there that could form around 2 a.m. Well, actually around between 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. For July 3rd. Still hanging about a few hundred miles off the coast of Mexico, and it looks like it tries to trend westward. It does. So yes, this storm looks like it's going to trend westward if it do not shift track and go towards Mexico or southwestern California around 8 a.m. We still could see some scattered showers going across the northeast, central part of the United States. West coast still going to remain quiet. We do have a high pressure could set up over southwestern Montana. 2 p.m. for July 4th, still seeing that high pressure sitting off the coast of Florida. Still the Miami area, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, just south of Jacksonville, Florida, now seeing some showers. Maybe a thunderstorm could be embedded into some of those areas. Florida Keys getting some rain as well. Panhandle of Florida is back seeing rain. So basically y'all just getting a lot of like tropical moisture and extreme humidity for those areas, because I know it's going to be extremely humid around those times, especially around 2 p.m. Yes, it's going to be extremely humid if the sun do decide to show. Going into Canada, we could see some showers and thunderstorms still on go across those areas. The United States and Canadian border could see some severe thunderstorms up. I think that's like around Michigan area. It is possible we can see some of those happening, but it looks like the tornado threat is not really high for the United States as of now. 2 a.m. for July 5th, we're still seeing them storms go across the United States and Canadian border. I did not mean to do that, to move that forward, but we can go ahead and go forward for 2 a.m. for July 6th. Widespread showers anywhere from Florida, Texas, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, Arkansas, all the way up into the mid-Atlantic, starting to soon impact maybe southern New York City, the south side of New York City, even all the way into Canada. And then that just goes ahead and starts the weekend around, let's say, 8 a.m. It starts the weekend. Still seeing some scattered showers anywhere from Fayetteville, North Carolina, all the way down through Columbus, South Carolina, all the way down through Atlanta, Birmingham, Alabama, just north of Jackson, Mississippi, going through, I think it's Little Rock, Arkansas. You can see some showers as well. Going through Fort Worth, Texas, Dallas area, you can see some showers on go around those areas, but for the most part it's pretty quiet. Going through Nashville, Tennessee, Birmingham, Alabama, potentially could see some showers get through Atlanta. I would not be surprised if that does happen. We do have some scattered showers around Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa area. Jacksonville, Florida is pretty quiet. It might be cloudy or partly cloudy, and also have some showers in the Panhandle of Florida. Then around 8 p.m. for July 6th, we do have showers and thunderstorms that can get going across these areas. Again, the southeast and the deep south, anywhere from Florida through the Carolinas, and also through Georgia, Alabama, Mississippi, and Arkansas. You guys can see some thunderstorms. And then all into the northeast, we can see some more thunderstorms, mainly impacting just northern New York City for Maine, Massachusetts, I think it's north of New York, if I'm not mistaken. Vermont, those areas can see some thunderstorms. So potentially could be flooding. At 2 a.m. for July 7th, now we are getting further out, but it is a possibility. We can see some showers and thunderstorms go across the Carolinas, all the way down through the deep south, and the southeast. But for the most part, West Coast is pretty quiet. Don't see anything too interesting as we go further on, other than around this time frame, around 2 a.m. on July 12th. We could see some showers and more thunderstorms. Some of those could be severe, anywhere from New York City all the way down to Arizona. That straight line of storms, but kind of like a straight line of storms, bringing widespread rain. Either you're going to get just rain, severe storms, or you're just gonna get really nothing. But it's a possibility through New York, through Virginia, West Virginia, all of Tennessee, parts of North Carolina, parts of South Carolina, Georgia. Florida's pretty quiet. Just seeing some scattered showers around Miami and Fort Lauderdale area, but that should go away. Then we're going through Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Arkansas, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, and Arizona. Definitely could see some of those rain, some of that rain get going. Now it looks like the high pressure is keeping it from going even further west. We really want this area right here to get some of this rainfall, but where the high pressure is right there, it looks like it's keeping most of that suppressed further south and southeast, so and to the east. So it looks like it's keeping it most of the central part all the way to the northwestern part, even the west coast, pretty dry and hot for many areas. We can go move that forward. We can still see some severe storms possibly get going along the Carolina coastline all the way down to Georgia. Still seeing some tropical rain possibly down there in Florida from Miami and Fort Lauderdale. Nothing to definitely not used to. And then this is the end of the run for the GFS. Around 2 a.m. on the 14th, so seeing some showers along the coastline of the Carolinas, and could see some strong storms just north of Fort Lauderdale, or it's around that area for the eastern half of Florida. European model, it might have about the same outlook, and see if it do have that potential tropical development, if it's even like an idea of that, because the GFS really didn't like the idea of seeing that at all. Let's see, we can go into about 2 p.m. for 8 a.m. for the 29th. Let's go ahead and start off for 8 a.m. for the 29th. We'll actually move that back a little bit further. Okay, there we go. So last night run, when I looked at this, it didn't either the European didn't fully run, but this morning run do have an idea around, let's see, around the 28th. The European likes the idea of getting a low pressure going off the coast of North Carolina, specifically near either Pender County, or well, Onslow Bay area actually, is where that low pressure tries to set up at, and it brings some showers and thunderstorms all the way inland, as far inland as to Triangle, maybe reaching near Winston-Salem area. We could see some strong storms possibly down towards Fayetteville if this does play out by the European around 5 p.m. on the 28th, if this does play out, because the GFS probably just running a little slow. But it's kind of like an idea now with the the National Hurricane Center labeling South Carolina or North Carolina with a 20% chance of seeing tropical development. Again, this might be in because how hot it is. They call it a heat dome setting up over the United States. Definitely warming up the waters for the Atlantic, but it seems like it do not last long at all. Around 8 p.m. on the 28th, we still see some strong storms up into the northeastern part and southeastern part of Virginia. Then it tries to pull away, but it do something sneaky near the Outer Banks. It pops up another low pressure around 2 a.m. Now, I would not be surprised on the 29th. I would not be surprised if the National Weather Service do issue flood advisories for the Outer Banks, because most people know, I think it's called Highway 12 going in for the Outer Banks. Always flood. They try so much to try to redo the road and everything to make sure it don't flood, but since the Outer Banks stick out from the state, it's basically an island that sticks out from the state and then curves back in. It sits basically into the Atlantic Ocean, so it's just going to continue to flood, especially when we had that snowstorm that happened back in January, from the energy coming from the central part of the United States, connecting, finally working together with the Atlantic and connecting, bringing that widespread snowstorm for the Carolinas and parts of Georgia and southeastern Virginia. The Outer Banks just had a slushy mess. They had a lot of snow, but they also had flooding from the ocean and strong gusty winds, sand. So it basically was sand and snow being blown everywhere. Think of it as like a tropical storm, but in snow form in those areas. And I think the Outer Banks was one of the areas that did get up to blizzard conditions. Seeing a blizzard in the Outer Banks is for the southeast is kind of crazy, and that definitely was marked as a historic snowstorm for many areas to exceed 16 inches for the eastern half of the Carolinas. Now, it probably would haven't really been a big deal if it was in the mountains. I think the mountains got up to 8 to 12 inches of snow, because the mountains normally get snow in the winter because higher elevation. But seeing that for the coastal part of the Carolinas, that's super rare. Probably gonna happen every decade or something like that. But around 5 a.m. on the 29th, actually, if you think of it, that made North Carolina's second or third year in a row for the coastal part to receive winter weather. So it definitely showing climate is changing, which we exceeded 5 inches of snow just last year. So this year we got around 16 inches from my area. So yeah, definitely climate is definitely changing, because if we ever get snow, it's really 1 to 2 inches, possibly 3 in some areas. 5 a.m. for the 29th, that low pressure comes back, and it seems like it sits in about the same area off the coast of North Carolina. Will it move eastward or will it move westward? It kind of looks like it stalls out. It does. It stalls out off the coast of the Carolinas, but keeping most of that moisture into the Atlantic. So special marine warnings definitely possibly will be issued for the Carolina coastline, well, off the Carolina coastline. And regardless of if this does make a landfall as maybe a tropical depression or some tropical system for North Carolina in the coming days, around the 28th, if it does happen like that, regardless of landfall, definitely the beaches will have hazards issued, and they will definitely advise you guys in the Carolinas not to go to the beach, or at least get into the water, because the waves definitely going to be choppy regardless of a landfall or not. And it seems like that low pressure, it tries to remain its strength, but it keeps disappearing and coming back. But it's moving further south though this time. As you see, it sits up near the sets up originally near Onslow Bay. Then it weakens, and then for some reason it shows up over the Outer Banks. Move that forward, it takes south, and then it eludes. You don't see the low pressure anymore. Then it strengthens again, but it's moving southward, kind of getting near Georgia and approaching the Florida coastline. But yeah, it seems like it continues to trend south, and that's most likely because of the high pressure that sets up over the southwestern part of North Carolina. Now, if that high pressure wasn't right there, it's definitely a possibility that that potential tropical system could have strengthened a little bit more as it made a landfall, if it did, along the Carolinas or Virginia. But the high pressure is kind of helping most of us out to keep most of that rain out of the southeast. But really just going to have to watch out for Florida, though, because the high pressure remains going into July 1st at 5 p.m. For the southwestern part of North Carolina now, and southeastern Tennessee. But it looks like it's going to work in our favor, because just a few runs, about 2-3 days ago, the European GFS was like an idea of seeing rain around the 4th, especially around the 2nd as well. But it looks like this high pressure remains right here. It looks like it's going to keep most of that rain south of Georgia and the Carolinas and the East Coast, and the deep south is going to keep most of that down into the Gulf. We might still see some showers along the coastline of the Gulf side of Florida, especially impacting Tampa area. Look like Miami might see some scattered showers. Maybe Miami Beach actually could see some scattered showers, but nothing they're not used to. Going into about 8 a.m., the high pressure remains in the southwestern part of North Carolina. Going into about 2 p.m. on July 2nd, still seeing those showers impacting Tennessee. For the northern part of the United States, it's still pretty quiet. Just seeing some showers and thunderstorms. 8 p.m. on July 2nd, look like Kansas area. Yeah, this is Nebraska. Nebraska and South Dakota. This area right here do have a possibility of seeing some strong storms. Could have some small hail embedded into this. It is a possibility. And then going into southwestern North Carolina, still seeing that high pressure, but we do see some rain just south of that impacting Atlanta, Greenville, Spartanburg area for South Carolina. Going through, possibly could impact Birmingham, Alabama. Could see some scattered showers around 8 p.m. going through Jackson, Mississippi, and then even going into Louisiana, we can see some of those showers impact those areas as well. Going into about 2 a.m. on the 3rd, the United States is pretty quiet, pretty dry. West Coast still not seeing much moisture. However, the GFS and European is liking the idea, but this seems like it's a lot stronger though, of some type of tropical system get going in the Pacific, off a few hundred miles off the coast of, from the coast of Mexico. It is a possibility we can see that, but it do pull westward. So regardless, the European and GFS models are liking the idea of seeing a tropical development in the Pacific in about the same spot. The GFS seemed like it was a little weaker, but the European seems a lot stronger on this idea. It could possibly be a high-end tropical storm or a low-end hurricane, but they both do like the idea of moving westward from from North America. Just gotta watch out and see where this does go. Is it gonna approach Hawaii or not? But it seemed like once it gets around the around the 3rd at 5 a.m. It tries to make a take eastward near Southern California, still a few hundred miles off its coastline, but it does switch and starts turning back towards the west. So it looks like we could see another named storm for the Pacific. Just what if it would actually form or impact the Mexico or southwestern California? That's just gonna be the question. But they're also still going to be watching out for that potential tropical development off the coast of the Carolinas. And where does that low pressure go? How strong will it get? Or will that high pressure keeps it out into the Atlantic and just eventually hopefully it disappears or pulls eastward if it continues to strengthen? Going into about 8 p.m. on July 4th, we do have some strong storms setting up across the central part of the United States, anywhere from southeastern South Dakota, going through eastern Nebraska, even going through Kansas, but definitely Nebraska and southeastern South Dakota definitely has a possibility of seeing some strong thunderstorms again. Potentially could have Gulf-sized hail embedded into this as well. Tropical storm force winds is possible in those areas as well. Not a tropical storm, but the status of the winds could be tropical storm status. And possibly could have a couple pop-up tornadoes in those areas as well. It's possible looking at the European model. Just north of New York City, you do have some strong thunderstorms that could impact those areas as well. And then coming into the southeast, Georgia, even going into Florida, you can see some scattered showers. Miami should be pretty quiet, just going to be humid, possibly partly cloudy in some areas. But Tampa could see some showers and maybe a light thunderstorm. Going into the northeast around 2 a.m. on the 5th, we can see heavy downpours up into Maine, Vermont, possibly I think New Hampshire is up there as well. Definitely see some heavy rainfall around those areas. High pressure is back over the western part of North Carolina and also setting up across the eastern side of Tennessee, northern Alabama. We can see some scattered showers. There's a lot of stuff in this run. And then going into about 2 p.m. for July 5th, we can see widespread showers anywhere from Canada all the way down to Louisiana. But it looks like most of those the severe storms that they do form will be southwestern Mississippi and northwestern Louisiana. We could see some strong thunderstorms embedded in those areas. And then around about 8 p.m. on July 5th, we can see a low pressure get going into the central part of the United States, bringing some scattered showers and thunderstorms just north of it. Still seeing some widespread showers across, Winston-Salem, North Carolina, through Greenville, Spartanburg area for South Carolina, possibly Atlanta for Georgia, Birmingham for Alabama. Just north of Jackson, Mississippi, you can see some showers. Going through Louisiana, you can see some showers and thunderstorms, and possibly going through central Texas, you can also see some showers and a thunderstorm as you get closer to the border of Mexico. West Coast, still pretty quiet going into the 5th. High fire danger is going to remain for those areas. Again, I would not be surprised if other states join the bandwagon that's around Utah for banning fireworks, definitely because high fire danger. And definitely don't need any wildfires burning across those areas since you won't be seeing rain at all. We kind of learned that situation back a few months ago at Florida and Georgia, not seeing rain at all and just wildfires just spreading like crazy. 8 a.m. for July 6th, we could see some showers and thunderstorms just in the Florida Keys, not really impacting Florida too much. South Florida, really Miami area, south of Miami, could see some scattered showers, but nothing too crazy. It's really going to be the Keys area, and potentially Cuba could see some showers as well. High pressure, just a few hundred miles, maybe at least 100 miles off the coast of Florida. We can see some showers off the coastline of southeastern South Carolina. North Carolina is pretty quiet. Virginia is pretty quiet. Northeast pretty quiet, other than some scattered showers in some areas. Again, West Coast is still remaining dry and no rain in sight as far as the 8th. The 8 is still pretty quiet for the West Coast. We do have a low pressure that sets up over the eastern side of California. It's kind of weird how that sits right there. Then going into 2 p.m., this is when things can get back potentially rowdy across the northeast for the United States. Around July 7th, you could have some showers and thunderstorms impact, New York, New Jersey, Vermont, Pennsylvania, going all the way into Canada. We can see some strong storms. Then it does weaken. We do get a blob of moisture around 2 a.m. off the coast of the Carolinas and Virginia, but that's definitely nothing tropical right there. It looked like it just strayed away from that original system up in the northeast. Around 2 a.m. we can see some scattered showers across the mid-Atlantic. Hanging off the southeast coastline, we can see some showers and thunderstorms. Definitely might have some gale warnings or small crab advisories issued for the coastline of South Carolina and North Carolina. West Coast still pretty quiet. No rain in sight for those areas, so it is definitely possible around this time frame. We could see some wildfires burn across Utah, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico. It's definitely possible because in California, because this is definitely possibly going over a week without rain for those areas, with their highs actually being in the triple digits as normal. Most years, California, Arizona, their highs can reach as high as maybe 115 for actual high temperatures. So West Coast mainly is dry and humid. Dry and dry and high, not humid. The West Coast really don't be humid like that compared to the East Coast in the summertime. At 8 p.m. on July 8th, we do have some showers and thunderstorms that can go across Tennessee, impact the central part of the United States as well, and possibly could graze northeastern Alabama and northwestern Alabama and northeastern Mississippi. Is definitely a possibility that can happen. Then it does trend south around 2 a.m. on July 9th. Northeastern Arkansas can see some strong storms. Northern Mississippi might dodge a bullet for this one. They can just pick up on some rain, depending on if this does strengthen going into 8 a.m. and it doesn't. So the deep south and the southeast pretty quiet, other than Tampa, Florida could see some more rain. Even setting off its entire Gulf side for Florida, you can see some showers and potentially some thunderstorms, even impacting the Florida Keys. Miami could see some scattered showers going all the way through Miami Beach, but nothing too crazy there. 8 a.m. for July 9th, we can see some showers and thunderstorms sitting off the coast of Georgia, Florida, and the Carolinas. Probably will have some gale warnings issued for the coastline for those areas by the National Weather Service or your local National Weather Service. Then also for 8 p.m. on July 9th, we can still see some strong storms going across the north central part of the United States again. So I noticed around these areas, the intensity is not as bad as it was a few months ago in these areas for seeing strong storms. However, these storms right here are still capable of producing at least maybe EF1 tornado is possible for those areas. And we're talking about the Midwest. They're prone to tornadoes a lot. So it is possible you can see a surprise tornado pop up in some of those areas. Then also the West Coast still pretty quiet going into July 10th. No rain has been in sight, especially for California, Oregon, or Nevada. No rain at all. So that's definitely starting to get concerning for those areas. Now that's when you kind of hope they get at least a tropical system that just brings a lot of rain, because that would definitely help out, because they're definitely possibly under a drought as their highs is definitely in the triple digits and they're dry. So no rain in sight for the West Coast. They might have their time going into the fall time frame when again storms starts, tropical system development starts to ramp up for the Gulf, Atlantic, and possibly Pacific. Scattered showers and thunderstorms going through the northeastern part of the United States. Southeast pretty quiet. Do have to watch that moisture sitting off the coast of the Carolinas, probably about maybe 200 miles, but it actually does linger there. And we come into the end of the run, so we do not know what that actually would do. Yes. So we do have moisture right here sitting off the coast of Georgia and the Carolinas, probably about 100 to 200 miles off its coastline. Where it will go, can't tell you, because this is starting to get to the end of the model run for the European. And we're going into July 11th. So that could become some tropical. Is a possibility. And it sits. And it tries to do something sneaky right here. And as it approaches the Outer Banks, it tries to do something sneaky right here. But don't know exactly where it will go. And now we can see some scattered showers and thunderstorms going through that Fayetteville area. Potentially Columbus, South Carolina. Reaching all the way up, we can see some scattered showers going through the Triangle area for North Carolina. Eastern North Carolina could be pretty quiet. Well, could see some scattered showers. Wilmington could see maybe a thunderstorm. Outer Banks, I might get some breezy conditions as this system right here tries to approach it a little bit. And then they can just switch to rain. And then it looks like it does switch down towards the Florida and Georgia coastline. Regardless, the Atlantic just going to have to be watched, because the Atlantic, we're talking about the Atlantic that can definitely do something sneaky. Because as hot as it's been, and now we're seeing potentially another system that could form for days out. So the model's definitely going to switch back and forth for the morning, afternoon, and evening runs. But it's just like an idea of keeping moisture off the coast of the Carolinas and Georgia. So it's definitely possible with this heat, it could do something sneaky for the Atlantic, because we've seen that before. It started off as a tropical storm and then boom, explode into a hurricane as well. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This one was a long, this was a 40-minute video. Dang. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a lot of stuff to cover in this as well. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to notify each and every time I upload a new video. I will see you guys in the next one of this, guys. Well, I won't hold y'all any longer, guys. I did not realize this was 40 minutes long, but it was a lot of stuff in the GFS and European models, and definitely to go over, especially as this heat wave go across, and you gotta watch out for the ocean. So again, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified each and every time I upload a new video. And I will see you guys in the next one of these, guys. Will stay safe out there, stay dry and hydrated, and it's your boy Arande out.